Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Friday the 19th of January. In this video we're going to look at two UK stocks, HSBC and Imperial Brands, the codes HSBA and IMB. And in the United States, we're going to look at two stocks as well. I've forgotten the name. URGN Pharma, URGN, and QCOM, QCOM. URGN Pharma's had a secondary this week. It was a $60 million issue. It went at a discount of 3.44% and a price of $41. So we'll look at those. Let's look at those charts. So starting with HSBC, and you can see in this longer term chart, this chart is a weekly, so each candle represents 1 week. Last week we broke into new high ground. This week we've had a consolidation, but you can see that the candle is still green, so we're closing the week higher than we started the week. It's very positive that we've moved above the 20-week moving average. That's moving up, and so is supportive. Momentum wise, we've got 65.73 on the RSI in a nice uptrend, so there's got good upside momentum there, and that's confirmed with the MACD, the shorter term moving above the longer term. On the daily, you can see that we've had a consolidation this week. That's been healthy, given that the move that we had last week was a very strong move. That was from the 20 moving average. You can see the moving averages will give support on any further consolidation, all very positive. And we have pulled back on the RSI, but it's still well above 50, 60.76. Likewise, the MACD, the differential is narrowed. The short term is still marginally above the longer term. And on the 4-hour picture, we've moved below the support of the 24-hour. Be aware of that. That would become a slight resistance on any upside, but to me this just looks like a flag, and we will break eventually to the upside. It may even be the next time that the 20 of the 4 hours moving back up, so I'm not overtly concerned by that downturn on the 24-hour. The 50 on the 4 hour still moving up, and that would give solid support, it's moving up quite aggressively. MACD are in a downtrend but still above 0. Likewise, the RSI is in a downtrend, marginally above 50, 52.43. There wasn't a non-confirmation here, so when we reached new highs, the RSI did reach a new high, so there's no concern there. And as I said, this just looks like a flag, and we will get an eventual further break to the upside. Looking at Imperial Brands, a different story. We're breaking to the downside. You can see on this weekly that we've reached new lows this week, although we have bounced slightly, but we've got trouble on any upside as this downtrend in 20-week moving average is dominant. RSI is indicative that we've got negative momentum, 37.48. And the MACD, although they were moved, the longer term is moving up, short term is moving back down towards it, so be aware of that. On the daily, you can see the breakdown that we've had the last couple of days. Yes, we're having a consolidation today, but next week's going to be very testing for Imperial Brands. The 20 day moving average is going to cross the 50 moving down. That's a bearish cross, and it'll be interesting to see if then they bear down on the stock price and push it to new lows. RSI, very indicative of negative momentum. We're in a downtrend and it's down at 38.15. And on the MACD, short term has gone back below zero. Longer term remains above zero but will move lower next week. Again, that will be negative when it goes through the zero. And on the 4 hour, you can see that we've broken to the downside again. All the moving averages, excuse me whilst I blow my nose. Sorry about that. If I hadn't blown my nose then, I was going to sneeze, which would have been even more embarrassing. Moving averages are creating bearish signs. We've had the 20 crossing the 50 on a bearish cross. It's now crossed the 200. So they are significant resistance when we have a rally. If we get a rally up to that level, they'll be bearing down very quickly on the spot price. RSI again in a downtrend, negative 32.83, and those MACD both below zero and both tracking downwards. Okay, moving over to the States. URGN, as I said, they've had a secondary priced at 41. You can see since the IPO, we're having a very positive step formation. I mean, obviously at the moment we're in the next step. As long as it doesn't fall below 37.5, that's okay. I'd expect it to drift towards 40 and then we get the next move up as the moving average catches up. On the daily, again, you can see this step formation. That's a classic bullish formation, bullish run. You can see that we're now starting to create the next flag or step sideways. Let the moving averages, well, the 20's already caught up, but let them give the support. Make sure they give the support before we expect the next rise upwards. Slight concern on the RSI in that at the high it was lower than the high that we had in November, so a slight non-confirmation there, so be aware of that. If we move significantly below these moving averages and the 20 moves below the 50, that could indicate the break of this bullish formation, so be aware of that. MACD, the short term is still marginally above the longer term. That needs to carry on. It looks like the short term is going to move below the longer term. Be aware of that. If the longer term then rolls over as well and they come down towards zero, that could be another negative factor. So just be aware on this URGN. It should be okay, but there's a chance that we could have a break from this bullish formation. And on the 4 hour, obviously not as much trading goes on in this stock. We're finding support from the 20 of the 4 hour. That did have a golden cross with the 50. That 50 will give the first support, presently at 40.31. Again, we've had a non-confirmation on the RSI. That's in a downtrend and it's just gone below 50, 49.94. And those MACD are rolling down as well. Okay, moving on to the last stock of today, and that's Qualcomm, up towards the upper boundary of the trading range. We've had a bullish breakthrough of the 20 average through the 50-week moving average, but we've still got this downtrend in 200 to counter. That will be turning around slowly. But as we know, they're like an oil tanker full of oil and very slow to move. So keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on this top of this range trade to see if we can break through. RSI still high, still showing positive momentum, 67.18, and the MACD are still positive. On the daily, very close to breaking through the resistance. You can see the 20 and 50 are moving together, which is good. They will create a golden cross. If not today, then tomorrow as the 20 moves above that 50. The 200 here is moving up as well, which is good. You can see that's turned. RSI, again, we're getting a slight non-confirmation, but it is showing positive momentum, 67.34. It'd be good if that could push, if we could get a push up for a few days. These down days would drop out, and so that could push into new high ground as well, which would be positive. Meanwhile, the MACD still showing that positive momentum as they're tracking up above the 0. Finally, looking at the 4 hour, and support would come in from the 20 and the 50 on this 4 hour. Again, you can see the resistance quite clearly. No non-confirmation on the RSI here, so that's good. RSI presently 68.03, and those MACD are positive as well. Thanks for watching the video. I know when I do these stock videos I talk very quickly and rattle through the charts. If there's a particular stock you're interested in, just rewind and go and look at that particular stock, and you can see the charts behind, so and you can look at your own charts as well, so you can listen to my commentary and make your own views. Please remember, these videos are my opinions. They're not an investment recommendation. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. I don't just do stock videos on UK, US stocks. I also cover the foreign currency, commodity and equity index markets, and I do a video once a week on stock flow and sentiment. Many thanks for watching. Please do read the disclaimer.